Hey guys, welcome to Code Decode. So in this video we are going to learn about MongoDB and how to integrate the MongoDB with Spring Boot CRUD application. So let's get started. So let's first see what we are going to cover in this video. So we are going to cover the basics of MongoDB, the advantages of MongoDB over MySQL, and we are also going to see how to install MongoDB in our local system. And after that we will start creating Spring Boot CRUD app along with MongoDB. Please like this video so that YouTube algorithm will promote this video as much as it can, so that more number of viewers like you will get benefited from this video. Okay, so what is MongoDB and what are its advantages? So MongoDB is an open source NoSQL database. It is an open source database just like MySQL, but here you are storing data in the form of documents. You are not storing data in the form of any tables, rows or column, and that is what actually the NoSQL means. So MongoDB store data in a flexible JSON like document format called BSON, and the benefit of using BSON is that it is accommodating more data type as compared to JSON. So the documents which we are going to store, it's stored in the form of collections, like we are going to store data in the form of tables. And MongoDB's document model is simple for developers, so that's why it is going popular day by day. So this is very clear that NoSQL database offers many benefits over relational database, and NoSQL database have flexible data model. It's also scale horizontally and have incredible fast query as compared to MySQL, and it is very easy for developers. So NoSQL database typically have very flexible schema. So if you talk about schema, I mean, you don't have to worry about the schema if you are working with NoSQL, but in case of MySQL you have to take care of the schema before jump into the data. So let's understand with the help of one example. So as you can see on the screen, we have one document of MongoDB and we have one example of SQL. So in the SQL we have certain tables called student, marks, school details, and result. So in this table we have stored a data called Jasmine Scott, and we have stored the marks in the marks table, and we have stored the details in school detail table, and we have also stored a result of that Jasmine Scott in a result table. So as you can clearly see that we have to make relationship between those tables. So we have to make a relationship between student and marks table, and then we have to make the relationship between student to a school detail table. And if we have to fetch the data for Jasmine Scott, then we have to make joins, that is inner joins. As you can clearly see that we have used select s.name, s.marks, d.name and s school name, and we have put some inner joins, and then we are getting the data of Jasmine Scott. But in the case of MongoDB, we have stored data in the form of JSON. So we have created a key value pair, that is student name is the key and Jasmine Scott is the value, and we have also called another JSON, and that is called subdocument. In the MongoDB language, you can see there is a school subdocument, so school is the key and that JSON is the subdocument here. So if we want to find the data of a Jasmine Scott, so simply we have to do db.student.find, and we have to just pass the key, that is the Jasmine Scott, and we'll get the whole value of Jasmine Scott without using any kind of joins. So this is as simple as that.
Hey guys, Relevel has now announced all their tests completely free of cost for you in order to give you access to 10,000 jobs across top companies. What you need to do is very simple steps. Register on Relevel, select the test of your choice, whether backend, frontend or business development. Choose and book a slot. Slots are limited, so please do it really fast. All rounds of the test should be completed in one single day, and you will get scores within a week, and within 15 days you will get qualified for your job. Once you qualify for your Relevel test based on the score, you get to create an amazing Relevel profile, which will be then shared across the companies for the further procedures. So just sit back and relax. Companies will reach out to you based on your profile, and the better your score is, the more company will for sure reach out to you. So what are you waiting for? Please register for the Relevel test today. If you want to know the benefits are that it does have 50 plus companies, including top startups and unicorns like Crud, Upgrade, Razorpay and many more. You will have 1000 plus job openings with minimum package of 4 lakhs and as high as 15 lakhs. The best part is you get to have this test completely free, finish your test in like a single day and get a score within a week. If you get 700 out of 1000 marks, you will be able to create amazing profile and then show that and stand out around the crowd. This candidature takes at least 15 days to give you a jobs, and even if you do not qualify, please don't be disheartened. You can retake the test in 30 days. So all the very best.
So before jumping into the MongoDB installation, let's understand some basic difference between MongoDB and MySQL. The main difference is they both are open source, but MongoDB stores data in the form of document, in the form of JSON like object called bson, but MySQL is a relationship database management system, that is RDBMS, and it stores data in the form of rows and columns in table. In terms of user friendliness, MongoDB is best suitable for unstructured set of data where the schema is not pre-decided, and it's suitable for those developers who are not database expert. Whereas MySQL is best suitable for structured set of data where schema is pre-decided, and it's suitable for those developers who are having experience in traditional SQL scripting relationship database. In terms of scalability, MongoDB is easy to scale. It supports horizontal scaling, and MySQL has very limited scaling option as compared to MongoDB. It supports two types of scaling, that is the vertical scaling and read application. These two are very vast topics, so if you want me to cover this topic also, please let us know in the comment section. I will create a separate video on that. In terms of query language, MongoDB uses MQL, and that we have just saw, that is db.collection.find, and then you have to put the key value pair. In MySQL, it is used as a structured query language, that is SQL, select star from table. If you talk about performance, MongoDB is basically optimized for write operations, whereas MySQL is basically optimized for fetch operations. In MongoDB, you can insert many documents at one go because of insert many API, whereas in MySQL, if you want to insert many records, so it will get inserted one by one. But at the same time, if you talk about the fetch operation, MySQL is optimized for high performance join across multiple tables, and due to which their fetch operation is faster as compared to MongoDB. Now to install MongoDB in our local, you have to go to Google and you have to type Mongo community server. So there are two editions, that is one the community edition, one the enterprise edition. So community edition is free of cost, so we are downloading that. So in this you have to go to download community, and here you have to download this Mongo community server. So I am on the Windows, so I will download this. Although I have already downloaded it, so I'm cancelling this and going to download folder, and after double clicking it, this window will pop up, and I'm clicking on next. I'm accepting the license agreement. I will choose the complete because I don't want to complete. So here there are two options: install MongoDB as a service. So if you will click on this, so there is a particular service which is always run on the background, so you don't have to go to specific location and you don't have to start the MongoDB server. So I'm clicking on next. So this is my data directory, and here I will get the logs if something will break. So I'm also installing the MongoDB Compass. So what is MongoDB Compass? It is basically an editor, or you can say it is a kind of SQL yoke for MongoDB. In SQL we have SQL yoke, so in Mongo we have MongoDB Compass, where you can see all your database collection that I will let you know in the later part of the video. So I'm installing it. It is asking me admin permission, so I'm saying it yes. Now it is copying the files. Okay, so like after few minutes the setup got completed, and as you can see the Mongo's Compass also got installed. So here you can see this is the Mongo Compass, and if you are connecting to any server, or if your database is hosted on any server, so you have to simply put the URL here. And but to set up locally, all you have to do is you have to click on fill in connection field individually. So this is your host name, that is localhost. This is the default port of MongoDB, and you have to click on authentication none because currently we are not providing any authentication, and click on connect. So our MongoDB is now connected. So as you can see there is some predefined database, that is admin config and local, and here is the option that to create the database. Although we are not creating database from here, we will going to create a database from Spring Boot. Okay, now we have to download the Spring Boot project. So we will go to the Spring Initializer, and in the Spring initializer we will give the name of project as Mongo Crud. So com dot, and here we will do code decode dot Mongo Crud demo project for Spring Boot Mongo, and here we will add some dependencies. So first we will add Lombok. If you want to know what is Lombok, I have already created a separate video for that. Links are given in the description, and I will also add Spring Data Mongo, because we have to connect our Spring Boot application to MongoDB, and we will add dev tool, because it will help us to restart the server again and again whenever we will edit some of our Java files, so we don't have to restart the server. So we will add dev tool, and apart from that we will add Spring Web, because we are making the RESTful application. So these are the 4 dependencies that we are going to add: Lombok, Spring Data, MongoDB, Spring Boot, DevTool, and Spring Web. And now I will click on generate. Now I will go to my folder, and I will extract this zip file. I will remove this one, and I will extract to Mongo Crud. Okay, so in this Mongo Crud I have pom.xml, and I will go to my STS. I will import this as an existing Maven project, browse, here download Mongo setup, Mongo Crud, again Mongo Crud, select this folder, finish. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a controller which is the endpoint of this application, and we are also going to create a service and repository layer. So in service layer we are going to write some business logic, although in this application we are not going to write any business logic, because we are simply creating the CRUD operation. And this repository layer will interact with MongoDB. We are using Mongo CRUD repository, and why we are using the Mongo CRUD repository? Because it is having some predefined operation. So let's jump into the workspace. So here we have one default package, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create one package dot controller, and again one for service and one for repository. We have to also create one model which will act as a request body for our endpoints. So model. So in this model we are going to create one class, and we can say as employee, and in this employee we are going to create int id, private string name, and let's keep address. So I will use @data, no ask constructor, all ask constructor, and I'm going to save it. Also I'm going to start my application, start in debug mode in case something breaks. Okay, so as you can see my application is started. Okay, so let's create the repository interface. So I'm going to create an interface called employee repository, and I'm going to extend with Mongo repository, and here I'm going to give employee, and ID would be integer because I am using int. Okay, great. Now I'm going to create one service layer. So employee service. Here I'm going to auto add private employee repository. Okay, Now here I'm going to create all my method which is going to call the repository, but before that let's create the controller. So employee controller, and that I'm going to auto wire employee service. Great. Also I'm going to create one application YAML, although I can use the application.properties, but I would prefer application YAML. And okay, in Mongo I have to create application.yml. So in this I will use spring.data.mongo dot host. So host is local host. Port, so port would be 27017. Let's confirm that in our, okay, yeah, so 27017. And database. Okay, so till now we haven't created our database, but if we will define one database here and the connection got successful, so Spring Boot will create a database in the MongoDB database. So here I am going to use database as emp employee db. And so now let's create the methods in service layer. So public employee save or update emp, and in this I'm going to return employee repository dot save, and in this emp. Okay, great. So now I'm going to call this repository from my controller layer. Okay, so here I am using the post mapping, and I'm going to create response entity because I want to return data in the form of JSON. So in the response entity I'm going to take my generic type as employee and save or, and here I'm going to use @request body, and as employee emp. Here I'm going to use the employee service dot save or update. I'm going to return new response entity along with the HTTP status. So comma HTTP status dot accepted. Okay, so here also we need to put @REST controller, and in the service we have to put @service. Okay, so now let's hit the Postman. So I have already created my Postman, and I have already created the endpoint that is save, and this is my you can say request body, ID, name, address. So if I will hit this, as you can see the record got created, and I got response as the same which I have got inserted. So let's check in the MongoDB. So here if I will refresh this, you can see a DB got created, and inside that DB one employee got created, and this is my data. So ID, name, address, and there is one more attribute underscore class. So by default Spring Boot add this, and but we can disable this also, but we have to create one config class, and in that config class we have to set the class attribute as false. I will cover that in the next video. Please let me know in the comment section if you want to know how to remove this class attribute. Okay, so this is one operation, that is a create operation. Let's see how we can do the fetch operation. So in the service layer, we have to create one method called list of employees, and here we will use as find all, and in this find all we are going to return you can say employee repository dot find all. Okay, I'm going to save this. In the continue, in the controller we are going to create one relay. Get mapping. Here same public response entity, and in that response entity we are going to pass list of employee. Here we are going to return new Java util list, and we are going to return new response entity list of employees employee service, and in employee service dot find all. That's it. Okay, so what error it is giving me? Okay, http status dot accepted. Great. So now let's hit it from Postman. So this is my find all API. If I will hit send, okay, so it is giving me this. So let's hit one more. So 2, instead of Vivek, let's say Rahul. Instead of Karol Bagh, you can say Nyanagar. Let's hit, so it is giving me, and now let's hit the find all API. So you can see there are 2 records. So now we are going to create the delete one, and after that our CRUD application got completed. Public void delete in delete at the rate sorry, not at the rate, because we are creating the service layer. Return employee report. It is having a void return type. Okay. So in the controller we will create at the rate delete mapping, and in that public response entity we will return one string, and the delete at the rate request body emp return new. So we will say record deleted, and we are assuming that it will delete the record, and http status dot accepted. Here I will call employee service dot delete. Okay, great. So in Postman I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create one delete body raw JSON, and URL I'm going to use the same URL here, and let's hit it. So it says record deleted. Oh, I haven't checked the previous one. What I will do is I will hit this API and see whether it is giving me 2 record or 1. So it is giving me only 1 record, so record got deleted. I'm going to delete this one also, and record deleted. And if I will refresh it, nothing here, it is empty. So this is all in the Crud Spring Boot Crud Mongo application. So in the next application, what I'm thinking to cover: remove underscore class from Mongo, how to create a custom DAO. Till now we have been using Mongo Crud repositories, and we are not using our own repository method. So in the next video I'm planning to do that. We don't have auto generated IDs in Mongo. Currently we are manually passing the IDs. Exception handling, we are not handling the exception till now. And transaction management, this is very important. This is the most asked interview questions in MongoDB. If you want me to cover all this, please let me know in the comment section. Till then, bye bye.